Alright ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another Ranger Retrospective. Today we're doing Season 4, aka Power Rangers Zeo. Now this is where the changes really started to happen in the show. I mean, we got new suits and new Zords, and the cast is just very different from what we were used to. So there were female Rangers in this, they just haven't released figures yet, but so we had Kat as the pink Zeo Ranger. She does have a figure coming out in a 2-pack soon, and we also had Tanya? I believe her name was? Tanya, the yellow Zeo Ranger. So what happens to Aisha is she has to go to Africa, I believe, to get her portion of the Zeo Crystal when she's collecting it, and she just picks Tanya, to be her replacement. And so we get a new Yellow Ranger. So what happens is the command center is destroyed at the end of Season 3, but the Rangers survive. They find out that there was a base beneath the original command center, and that becomes their new headquarters. Now originally there's only 5 power coins, well not power coins, Zeo crystals, sorry, and that means that one of the Rangers has to give up being a Power Ranger. So Billy, the original Blue Ranger, he gives up being an actual active Power Ranger and just sort of becomes like their tech guy back at the base, sort of, you know, the Q to James Bond, that sort of role. And he fulfills that for about half the season. Then there was behind the scenes drama, which is quite depressing to read about, and Billy rapidly ages and then flees to the planet of the alien Rangers. So Billy leaves the show about halfway through. And the villains of this season are not Lord Zen and Rita. They are very swiftly deposed by the arrival of the Machine Empire, which is, as the name suggests, an enormous, powerful empire that oddly has amazing family values. I mean, if you watch the interactions between the husband and wife and their son, it's genuinely good parenting and good family dynamics. So they're good villains, rock solid villains, and they're quite powerful and intimidating. So Lord Zen and Rita are just shunted off to the side for the majority of the season, and really it just swings into the Power Rangers groove. You have Adam becomes the Green Ranger, and generally in Power Rangers, green and black fulfill the same role on the team. They're sort of interchangeable. If a black character goes into a new season, well, Black Ranger, sorry, goes into the new season, they will become the Green Ranger and vice versa. Rocky is pretty much demoted from red to being the Blue Ranger. Tommy goes from white to red, but the 2 female Rangers retain their original colors. And as they're battling the Machine Empire, stuff just happens in this season that's, you know, quite interesting. Tommy and Kimberly, who've been dating, I think, since the 2nd season, break up, but it's through like a letter that Kimberly writes to Tommy, which it's just rough, buddy. But, you know, he and Kat have, you know, sparks going between them. Midway through, you know, this Gold Ranger shows up to start helping them as well. So, this guy. And there's a bit of, you know, who is the Gold Ranger? What role does he play? And there's lots of red herrings. I mean, the season also introduces Tommy's half-brother, who might be the Gold Ranger. Billy is occasionally, you know, hinted to maybe be the Gold Ranger. Skull, who's like comedic. I haven't mentioned Vulcan Skull at all in these videos. That's criminal of me. They're basically comedic characters who existed from the 1st season and were in Power Rangers longer than any of the actual Rangers, which is ridiculous when you consider it. But still, Skull is teased as maybe being the Gold Ranger, but in the end, it's an alien named Trey from Triforia. And he comes to Earth, and I believe he's injured at some point, or something happens to him, and he needs to transfer the power to a worthy warrior. And Tommy is like, oh, I know the perfect guy. So he goes and eventually finds Jason, the original Red Ranger, who becomes the Gold Ranger for the duration of the season, and it's quite cool having him back, because it's Jason, but he's matured. He doesn't want to be leader again. They even have a conversation about this, and it's well addressed. Rocky feels insecure that Jason's back, and that's also addressed. And that was something Zeo did well. It was a massive shift in the series, but they didn't stumble on it. In fact, they really stuck the landing. It revitalized the series. So that was really good to see. At some point, you know, the King Mondo, the leader of the Machine Empire, he gets replaced by one of his teenage son. Was it Prince Gasket? Or was that the really young one? I don't know, he has another son who replaces him for a while, but then they get rid of that guy, and Prince King Mondo returns. But the series, it didn't have a very strong ending, because the series ends with Jason realizing that the Gold Ranger powers are never meant for a human form, and that if he continues to use them, he will die. So Jason has to give up the Gold Ranger powers, and he goes off to live a civilian life. And that's Zeo. I mean, Mondo and the Machine Empire, they come across Rita and Zed, who blow them up at the end of the season. They trick them with a bomb. Spoiler, but it's like a 20-something-year-old show, I think, at this point, so meh. And that deals with the Machine Empire. And the Rangers are still Zeo at the time. There was no real huge conflict. So Zeo was very, very entertaining to watch. The new dynamic, watching the new characters come into their own and finally gain some characterization, while also seeing old characters learn and grow, was awesome. The Zords were quite cool. Well done fight scenes. Yeah, Zeo was just a really nice time in Power Rangers, when it could have been extremely bad. Unfortunately, it flows into Turbo, which does not do quite as well, but we'll cover that in the next video. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, we have plenty more. We've got Hero House, figure fights, the Wreckers, top 10 lists, ranking lists, so just yeah, loads of content to enjoy. So please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again. Thanks for your time and all the best. Bye!